What you're witnessing now in real time is the effort to take down GB News completely. Now, I've been banned from that channel since its inception, but it gives me absolutely no pleasure to see what was done to me at LBC being done now to GB News as well. For a long time, they've had issues with the regulator. That's why they binned off Mark Stein. He was telling too many truths, bringing too many Ofcom complaints. And GB News tried to make Mark Stein responsible for his own Ofcom fines, which is financially prohibitive for anybody. Now they have an issue with the Dan Wotten show. Lawrence Fox was on there, made some comments, and that video is being circulated wildly. And in light of Russell Brand and the rest of it, it's inflammatory stuff. As was said to me at LBC, if you know you're standing in front of an open goal, why do you give them the ball? And I think that was a really accurate way of surmising when people are determined to eviscerate you, not because you're crap at your job, not because you aren't any good, but because you are really good at it. Because my LBC show was the most listened to Sunday commercial show, that's why you have to be removed, because you cannot be allowed to say the things that you're saying. It simply is not going to be tolerated by the powerful. And I was eviscerated, and it's why I'm able to clearly enunciate now what will be happening and the steps that will be being used in order to get rid of GB News completely. So number one is lawfare and litigation. Lawyers will be able to smell blood in the water right now. You've just had all the Russell Brand stuff. Now you've got Lawrence Fox on Dan Wotten's show saying, well, I wouldn't shag her, about a female journalist, and Dan Wotten tittering along and not really giving any pushback or what would be required by Ofcom to maybe make that okay, so they can smell blood in the water. Lawyers know, because of case law here in the UK that was set and made up especially in order to come after me, where people applauded, they enjoyed my takedown, but they forgot to see that the case law that was established is now going to be used against them, which says that damage is done at the moment of publication. So right now, those trying to take down GB News are encouraging the sharing of the clip. And the reason for that is the more eyeballs they can get on the clip of Dan and Fox, Lawrence Fox, the more they have a case when it comes to litigation, when they go for damages, when they go for punitive damages. The more eyeballs, the greater the reward for the lawyers and all of the teams, and for the damages they'll be able to get, because damage is done at the moment of publication, and the more that it's seen, the better off they will be. And also because perceived serious harm can be done at the moment of publication. That was new law made up just for me in order to take everything I had. It means that you can't retract. You can't apologise. It doesn't matter if you apologise. It doesn't matter if you try and correct the record. It doesn't matter. You can prostrate yourself, you can self-flagellate. Damage is done at the moment of publication. So you have lawfare circling, and those sharks are not going to give up. I imagine cases against Lawrence Fox, cases against Dan Wotten, cases against GB News. Then you have the mainstream at work, and this will be coordinated by The Guardian. In my case at LBC, I received warning that at the conference that morning with Catherine Viner in The Guardian, I was made the point. The point was my evisceration, my removal from LBC. And Guardian worked together with their contacts, with their journalists, with their powerful networks to have me removed. There was a list signed up of people who would no longer appear on LBC if I was kept in my position. Over a tweet. There were all of the other journalists pushing out pieces to draw attention to what had gone on and how terrible it was that I'd called for the end of Islamist terrorism in the UK. And this will be happening for GB News right now. In conference, you can already see it. The Guardian articles being pushed out quickly. There'll be many, many more of those. The comment columns will be full of it. In the wake of Russell Brand, how can this comments be tolerated? How can we be accepting this? Why don't Ofcom do something? So that's the media strand that will be going on. It's very powerful. Linked to that is organisations and bodies. So if